Hello and welcome to my showcase of the games that I have been hosting on Blank Games Online. This is just like a website that I purchased a year ago that I said, oh, I'll add to that, and I have. I have added a couple of games that I made in college for a class that I salvaged because they went out of date, and I just wanted to keep them alive because they're kind of nice. But I have recently been told that I'm not going to be able to keep this site unless I renew it. So I've just been weighing the costs of server upkeep against keeping this up, you know? Uh, but anyways, I, we don't need to worry about that, bro. Let's just show you these games. Let's start with Pet and Spiel. Actually, no, let's start with Worderfall. I can't play Pet and Spiel right now. I just played it. Alright, Worderfall. Here we go. Ready to play? Yeah, sure. Codex. Okay, so Coded is the only one that's one letter off. All the others are two off. Perfect. So we get some loud music that I made hastily out of an array and a for loop. Lardy, tardy, hussy, husky, rabid. I want to say rabbi, rabid, rebid. I got the pants, pasts, pasta, a sedgy, sedge, a shiny, shine, a goose, goods, a clued, slewed, I seeded to the seeds as I get heady, my take heeds, stand, slant, no, it's stank. Oh shit, that's who we saw. I moved at this gooey, I nuked at the noted, I'm neuter than the noted of the oops, I didn't know that. Naked, I forgot, that's the one. Tummy, jumpy, lummy, yumpy, high, yummy's one. Gruel, okay, this is bad. It's telling me I'm bad. The random universes. Cool, cruel, smack. Spark? No, smirk. No, shit. Smack? What? Is this? No, where is it? Smack. Shack. Ah, Piper. Paper. Scold. Scald. Twans. Trans. Unso. Sex. Where whore, magna, magma, berry, burrs, saber, sober, shams, shays, decor, decoy, image. Ah, no. Bruin, bruit, raspy. Three. Oh, 320. Okay, that's enough of that. Why did I pin it? I wanted to mute. Okay, thank you. Whew. Okay, well, I don't even know, man. It's a game that's supposed to help with dyslexia, but the idea is you can say just like the words to the beat, and it's kind of like a game where you're rapping a little bit. It's not real rapping. It's just like all these slant rhymes because words that are one letter off are good for slants. So it's just constant slant rhymes. Um, and it's stupid, but I love it. And yeah, I made this as a final project for school because I don't know, I liked the concept and I was like, yeah, it helps with dyslexia because it teaches reading. It forces reading in terms of deciphering because you really have to decipher what the words are and you can pronounce them wrong, but as long as you know what the words say, like the individual symbols, that's the thing it's testing for in the dyslexia. And if you get really good at the game, obviously you're just going to improve at that skill, and it helps you directly overcome that barrier rather than having to do like a bunch of boring word games. Like this game is like exciting because it's really tense with the timer. and trying to get a high score. I designed it to be incredibly difficult. So if it's hard for you, then it might be boring, which is an oversight for getting the dyslexic audience. So it's actually more fun if you're not dyslexic, ironically. That's enough about dyslexia. Let's go to not Peddenspiel. Duck. Okay, so this is something I threw together in some game engine maker. I just wanted to experiment with movement, so I put it in a little 3D animated duck. And the way that the movement works, you just use like the arrow keys, and he goes fucking nuts. Like, I didn't expect this, because what it's doing is it's basically like it's expecting like a top-down directional sprite. So it's like if I press up, the sprite will look up, and if I press left, it'll move left, and it's like on a 2D plane. But I just like put a random like landscape image of this 3D animated character that I had on my desktop, because I have no images. I never have any assets. I always like lose or delete files or replace my desktop. It's stupid. But the internet's forever, so that's why I'm recording this and putting it on YouTube. Thank you for the server space for my stupid, crazy, inane ideas, Google. And yeah, this is like kind of like the perfect time waster. Like, for me, if I ever choose to come to my website, I can spend hours just doing this and talking. It's like a mindless distraction so that you can think about other things, you know? Moving on. I really should just go to the main source, but I can't remember. Okay, here it is. All right. Travel. Okay, now this is a favorite of mine. Like, this is my magnum opus, all right? I want to bring this in a little closer, give you guys a better view. Boink. I'm doing this all live in OBS. Oh yes, in OBS. There we go. So, travel. This is an abstract game, so the limitations that were put on us for this assignment to make this game, because this was an assignment, it wasn't just like a passion project. I had to be impetus to make something with the promise of something in return, which was a grade for something, an achievement that I ultimately feel is meaningless in the overall like reasoning of my life, because honestly, I'm not even sure if games drive me, but when I play travel, all those things reawaken. I'll tell you guys what it is. So, Perlenspiel, which is the engine that most of these games are on, is this like JavaScript thing that lets you have like a 30, I think it's like a 30 by 30 grid for an entire screen. I think I have like a 15 by 15 one right now. So I designed a bunch of, oh, I forgot to unmute it. There's a sound effect when you walk over those. So I basically like made a top-down engine, and I wasn't allowed to like make anything look like anything, so I just, abstracted all the elements into nothing. You're a white square, literally meaningless white square. And I thought that would be interesting because it would force me to incorporate color. And then I had all these ideas for levels that you could edit in MS Paint, because this whole thing was just an image that I drew, and it's just zoomed in right down to the pixels, and all the pixels are moving. And it's kind of like you get to see the art come to life. And yeah, it was a pain in the ass to actually get this back and up running on this website, because I couldn't get live changes to work. I was getting cache from Cloudflare no matter what I did. I couldn't delete my cookies or anything. So if I made a change to the site and it went live, the only way to see the live change was to like, I think, go on my phone, and then if I did it on my phone, it would the same thing would happen as soon as the phone got a use. So everybody had like one chance to get a new version of it, including me, the site owner. So I had to be like very sure about changes, or like debug offline, which who does that? But like, sometimes there's just like a small change. Like I made a bunch of small changes to these games. I was just editing it directly in the editor. These games are dead simple. I also don't know why I keep dying here. This one's really simple. Doink, doink, doink. You don't even need to pause there. I would love to see a speedrun of this game, because that would just, kind of fulfill me and make me think, maybe I should pursue games more, make more games. The last game I made was Duck Game, and then like a prototype for something called Hop Dodge, which is kind of like an exploration of this concept. Sort of, my friend and I were toying around with the idea because we're both huge Frogger fans. Like, played Temple of Frog growing up, and Frogger's Adventure, Frogger Beyond, and he was just interested in doing the project, but we both had busy lives, and when you're only interacting on Discord, things turn into like homework obligations. You'd rather see your friend and hang out with them and work with them. But when we spend time together, he's actually like really awesome. So it's good that we can catch each other sometimes. Maybe he could like come and help if I did some more work on Hop Dodge. I don't know. All right, well, here we are at the final boss of the game, the giant temple. You can see it looks like you're really going inside of some man whose mouth is swallowing you whole, or some beast. But there's also this. There's this other path. Where will it lead? See, it goes on for quite a while, but surely there's something at the end, right? While we're waiting, why don't we tell a story? So, I think that even though this game was abstract, it was inspired by a trip to Guatemala where I was visiting or touring some Aztec tombs, and or Aztec ruins, not tombs. I don't know if they were specifically for dead bodies. They could have just been to make rain summon or something. I don't know. But I was doing a backflip on one of these statues, and I landed right on it, like halfway through a backflip, and smashed my face against it. So it was like I backflipped and then I headbutt this statue that I was standing on. This was back when I was into parkour and had no fear of death. So, right? So I had to go to the hospital, and I go to the hospital, right? And there were people there, reporters, who were mad at me because I got my blood all over this statue, and I was like, you ever have that feeling like you're talking and nobody is understanding what you're saying? That's the feeling I had in Guatemala because I literally was speaking English and they were literally only speaking Spanish, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it. And yeah, I was like, I'll clean the statue, and they're like, La Statua Loca. It's like, there's probably been blood on it before, I'm guessing. Like, the Aztecs were warriors, right? Surely they wouldn't mind a backflip gone wrong. We live in the modern. I was appealing to the sentiments of history, which didn't work because they couldn't understand a fucking thing I was saying. They were just saying La Statua Loca. They were calling me like the statue crazy, and just like this entire tunnel, this entire story is fake. Yeah, it's just a looping tunnel that goes on forever. See, I was thinking about that story like as just like a what if I said I got healthcare in another country and I just incorporated a joke about it. It was like, they had the nerve to charge me like $100 for the facial cleaning. And I was like, that's cheaper than I would have gotten in another country. Because I chipped a tooth, and while he was there, he repaired it, and the dentistry was pretty top notch. Didn't look bad. Couldn't tell. At least maybe you can tell. But are you the kind of person who's a square who cares about somebody's tooth like that much? I'm sure everybody has that. Like, eventually, whatever thing people can't look past, well, if they can't look past it, well, they just haven't met you long enough. You gotta spend time with people, I guess. What's this level supposed to represent? It's supposed to represent conquering challenges, I guess. I had to eventually end